everybody. Welcome to Awesome Comics, your one-stop shop for everything comic book entertainment related. I am your host, Heather Roos. I clearly got in this chair right now because I've killed Walter. He's not here.
We took him. We took him on.
We took him on.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone. I'm just kidding. Walter's fine and well. In fact, you can find him on our Facebook page at facebook.com/awesomecomicshow. He did the Thursday Facebook exclusive video this week talking all about the new trailer for Logan. The new Wolverine movie that's coming out. So if you have not already checked that out, liked our page, go ahead, facebook.com/awesomecomicshow. This week, we are talking about something that you guys have been asking about for a while. We see in comments people ask, hey, do any of you watch anime or read manga? We do! So this time we're focusing just on our favorite animes and some of the mangas that are associated with that. So that is our pick of the week going on right now. Any of the mangas that we talk about while we're talking about our favorite animes are our pick of the weeks. We got a great panel with us today.
Hey.
So let's get started with the usual. Who are you?
Aiyanna, what's up?
Your cute little schoolgirl outfit today.
Thank you. Yeah, I went Sailor Moon. Yeah, and you can't see, but I'm wearing my Luna tights. So that was like the series that really got me into anime and manga. So
Yeah, but not your favorite.
still
But we'll
have.
talk
It's
about your
not
favorite in a
my
little bit.
favorite, but it like started me on it. Like I still have my old VHSs. So
Yes.
yeah.
Me
you
too,
know.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right, and this guy didn't hate us, so he came back.
They kept inviting me back. I don't get it. Yeah, but hi, Trevor Mueller. How's it going?
It's going great. We're all excited, I think. Hopefully. I hope we're excited. And
I'm
we have
very
someone
excited.
new to Awesome Comics.
Oh, I'm just some guy that just wandered into the studio and I said, hey, I'll talk about anime. No, I'm Malcolm Ray. I'm frequently on the Nostalgia Critic and I like anime a whole lot. So I wanted to join in on this panel and talk about it with you guys.
Awesome. We're excited to have you on the show finally.
Thank you.
And this guy decided to come back too after a long absence.
Watashi wa Rob Des. That's all I got. That's all
That's all you got. That's fine. We'll accept it.
You can't be more kawaii than me, okay? That's like a rule now, from now on.
I want someone to anime or animate that last segment with Rob.
angst lines.
A little angry.
For sure. All right. Well, let's hop right into it. Let's get started with Malcolm, since you're new.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
start
new.
with you. What's your favorite anime?
My favorite anime is Yu Hakusho.
Wrong. No, sorry. Actually, I have no problem. This is not a presidential debate, Rob.
I mean, like, technically, like, nostalgic, like, speaking from a nostalgia perspective, nostalgia, Dragon Ball Z is up there, but I don't want to talk about Dragon Ball Z. I want to talk about an anime that was inspired by Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion. It's called Yu Hakusho. And it's basically about this young guy in high school. He's a delinquent. He, is just kind of like meandering through life, trying to, discover himself. And one day, he just ends up getting killed. Like, he runs out into the street trying to save a boy from getting hit by a car, and he takes the hit, and he's dead. Like, that's how the series starts out.
The end.
Dies. Yeah, it's the end in the anime.
Really short.
Avant-garde. It picks up from there. He ends up in the spiritual world. He ends up being a ghost, and he's just like floating around. He's like, I'm, a ghost, and he runs into the Grim Reaper, who is a beautiful blue-haired bomb, as anime, goes.
Tends to do.
Yeah, and her name is Botan, I believe. Yeah, and she like guides him to the afterlife, and as it turns out, he has very, very unique abilities when it comes to the spiritual metaphysical world, and they decide to make him a spirit detective where he goes on missions kind of, solving crime and, fighting off demons, shamans, and other metaphysical beings that are involved with the spiritual realm. And as a lot of shonen anime go, he ends up, befriending some of his enemies and, picking up more comrades along the way. And it's like a journey of self-discovery, figuring out what he is. There's a lot of martial arts and elements involved with it. And I really like this anime. I'm not too fond of how it ends. because like
So like most anime.
exactly. It's just there's like, without spoiling it, like you guys try to avoid spoilers, right? On the
Yeah.
show. I don't want to
Pause
spoil.
here and come back after you're done watching it.
Give a signal, wave to them when we're done. They can just mute it.
I don't know. Like for you guys' sakes, maybe I don't want to
It's okay.
spoil it. You sure?
I've seen it before. I don't know. I've seen it.
Oh, okay. So I'm
good.
gonna do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna spoil it. So
Go.
Spoilers!
yeah, like there's a twist. Like with the titular hero, they end up like finding out something about themselves, that's been present all along, and it's like, oh, that's why they're so good at it. I hate it when they do that. Like it turns out that he's part demon, and that's why he's so perceptive to the spiritual realm. And I'm just like, oh, why'd you do that? It's like, why does he have to be part demon? Why can't he just be like really good at his thing?
Be naturally
No, I
gifted.
don't need to watch it, thank you.
He warned you, Rob.
Really good. It's still
And I'm sorry I listened.
No, it's still really good. It's still really good. It's just up until that point, it's just kind of like, he doesn't have to be part demon. And in the back of my mind, my head canon, he's not part demon.
It's kind
I
of
like your headcanon.
because you showed me a few episodes. It's kind of an older school anime too, which I
Yes.
like. It's like, what was it, mid-90s?
Yeah, midnight.
Had that look about it. And I love those like
94.
earlier
Okay,
90s, like
94,
80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime.
Yeah, like right at the peak of Dragon Ball. Like GT was just like in full swing. When we don't talk about GT.
You still have those 80s like Macross Robotech sound effects
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Like all these weird laser sounds. And I miss that stuff.
Done.
Well, and it did have a run on Cartoon Network as well. So I know that's how I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sorry. I did. I watched it on Cartoon Network.
You watched it dubbed and
dare you.
I did. It's fine.
You are not true, Animu.
I know. I only lived in
Otaku,
Japan. It's
right.
what
You're
I'm
Anna Lame.
Anna lame. I like that. Well, cool. Awesome. Malcolm, sorry. Let's move on
We
to
look
Rob.
alike.
You do. That's where I was going with that. Let's move on to Rob. What's your favorite anime here?
The funny thing is, I think all did the same thing, which we ended up picking ones a little outside of the box just because we thought we were all going to pick the same ones. So.
Right.
I went with, and it is in my, I would say, top 5 or top 10, but I went with Paranoia Agent.
Okay.
Which was directed by Satoshi Kon. Rest in peace. He's no longer with us. But in my opinion, one of the great anime directors. And it had me hooked at like the first episode. It's basically about this cartoonist who creates this character, Manaomi-chan, and it's like this typical Japanese little adorable cute thing that has these soulless doll's eyes that just like burn a hole through your soul, and it becomes this big hit, and she's looking to create like a new character. And at the same time, this character called, in the original, was called Shonen Bato, but they translated in English to Little Slugger. I would have gone with the Boy Bat or Bat Boy just because that would be awesome, like, the tabloids. But this kind of sort of mythical character comes out, and it's like, is this a creation of her own psyche? Is this a real character? It keeps twisting in on itself, and all of his like films do that. It's what is real, what is reality. There's a whole lot of dream sequences, and the one thing that runs through all of his stuff is the characters are always mentally just on the edge. They're like disturbed, they question reality. You never know what reality is. And so it's about this character they're trying to catch that basically bashes people on the head.
Yeah.
And seems to provide them with some sort of mental release, almost like they were asking for this, like,
Yeah, like it's
peace. And it's two detectives, a young, like, impressionistic, like, kind of naive, happy guy, and then the older one, Ikari, who just is like the grumpy old cynic. And Ikari may be one of my favorite characters in any anime, because he's the only one with all this craziness going around him who kind of rejects the insanity and is like, no, we gotta, face reality and, make it through all the way to the end. And I won't give away the ending, but it goes completely nuts off the rails, but in that rare good way, in my opinion.
Yes.
And probably my favorite episode, one of my favorites, is there's one about a suicide club. That's great because one of the members that joins is not who they think it is, and I won't spoil that one, but that one's just amazing. And there's a running joke about it. It sounds dark, and it is, but it's
It is
actually
very
way
dark.
funnier than you think.
There's a good balance involved.
Yeah,
in it.
and then I'd say the other one that was that I really enjoyed was one that's about the making of an anime.
Yeah.
And so there's like an anime, a making of an anime within an anime, and it's all about the production and how it's going completely off the rails. And then, Little Slugger comes in and, peacefully, tries to end it for them. But so that would be my pick.
Yeah, and you brought a really good manga too, as well.
I
You wanna
did.
talk about that for a second?
There, as far as I know, there wasn't a Paranoia Agent manga, so I went with a Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. One of the earliest Miyazaki works, and the movie is very good. It's one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films, but it's kind of short. He didn't have a whole lot of time. He only had 2 hours to flesh out this story. So this is like the Lord of the Rings special edition version. There's like, I forget what the exact number was. I think there's 7 or 8, but
something like that.
comes with awesome poster work and maps. And
Oh,
then
that's cool.
the artwork is really,
It's
really
beautiful.
intricate.
Yes.
What was I going to say?
Intricate?
Intricate. Thank
Intricate,
you.
there you go.
I can speak today. Yeah, it's really intricate for a manga. Like
It's beautiful.
the artwork's amazing, and it's like this the whole way through. So that's my manga pick.
You should really check it out if you have not. Honestly, guys, I was gonna bring Nausicaa as well.
I don't
so.
own a lot of manga. I've got like some Trigun, some FMA, a few of the little Cowboy Bebop things they released, and this is the one that I'm just like, this is the one I had to have, and it was not a bad buy.
No, it's a great series.
Do it.
All right,
Do it now.
let's move on to Trevor. What's your favorite anime here? I feel like it's in the same vein.
Yeah, no, so kind of like everyone else, my pick this week was really less about my favorite anime and more my pick of what made me love anime in the first place. So the pick that I have is Robotech, right? So I'm gonna paint a picture for you guys real quick. It's 1985. It's 1 year after a TV show airs in the United States called Transformers, right? I'm 4 years old. And suddenly a show comes out that, unlike every other show for people my age, is not a 30-minute commercial for action figures, but it should have been, right? And it is the first space opera that I ever ended up encountering and the first TV show I ever encountered where you have to have seen the previous episodes to get what was going on. And to me, really kind of influenced the type of stories that I like to tell and the type of stories I like to watch. With this overarching story around characters and love and pop culture and war and all of these elements kind of playing in with each other. Now, it is streaming on Netflix right now in standard definition, so it doesn't look fantastic, unfortunately. But I love this show so much. It's a story about an amateur stunt pilot who gets thrown into a war when the Earth gets invaded by 50-foot tall aliens. Which the 5-year-old in me was just like, yes, like, first of all, pilotable Transformers, right? The pilots in the show pilot jet planes that turn into robots. And that is awesome. It is Top Gun and robots. What is not to love about this, right? But at the same time, like, there's a love triangle going on between him and this pop star and this career military woman, right? Because it's Japan.
Yes.
And there's got to be a 16-year-old pop
All
star.
know who they should have gone with.
Right. And Min-Mei is the downfall of the series. I will say she is the low point, right? And I feel so terrible for the actress who had to voice her because she's heard that her entire career.
It's like being Lando. How could you do that to Han?
No, it's like being Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Jake Lloyd, poor guy. He's like, no, I didn't ruin Star Wars. But it essentially follows Rick Hunter, right? And his life and his career through this war and the things that he has to go through to try to create peace in a culture where we have music and art and all of these things against an alien race that has been bred and only knows war. And that is all they understand. And they are trying to spy on our culture and subvert our culture and do other things and eventually get seduced by our culture and start to realize that there is something beyond war and something beyond, what they've thought to live their entire life.
it's very adult in a way that the genre, at least nowadays, isn't always.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, when I look at it, I'm like, man, this is so old and so light years ahead of its time, you know, in its storytelling.
And you look at the types of shows that were coming out in 85, right? Where it's episode to episode, it follows a very set formula, good guys versus bad guys. Here, those lines blur, and they have entire episodes here where characters actually sit out the fighting. You know fighting's happening, you can hear it in the background, but they'll have an entire episode just dedicated to character. And
that's
to
awesome.
me, as a 4-year-old, like as a 4-year-old kid, right? Like I'd never seen anything like that before, and suddenly you get invested in these characters in a way that you don't get with a regular Saturday morning cartoon
Right,
show.
no.
And
Not
it's
at
something
all.
that the kids in particular, because they can relate to that, because often kids are the ones sitting out when the bad stuff goes down. So I thought those episodes, you know, I watched Macross more as an adult, but those episodes tapped into something very like primordial from my childhood, of like when a disaster was happening or when bad weather would strike, you know. You're sitting there just kind of on the sidelines. It's like, well, I hope everything works out for the best. I guess there are adults in the room who are going to solve this.
And the final point that I'll make too, because this was probably the first time I had seen this, and this kind of is the opposite of what you were talking about with your show, Malcolm. The main character is not the best character in this show. He's not the best pilot. He's not the best fighter. He doesn't even like war. And in fact, he gets shot down all the time. Like he loses in several instances.
It's true.
Which to me makes him way more relatable than some invincible character on a battlefield.
Yeah.
That character exists in this show, right? Like, you know, and
Right.
ends up meeting their match and their rival on the enemy's side. And of course, the battle that they have almost becomes like a dance, and the two spawn romance through fighting. Like, it's just this incredible mixture, again, of love and music and pop culture in a way that I've never seen anything like it. And all the spiritual successors to the show since then have successfully tried to incorporate in. Yeah.
See what you missed, you child.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show.
It's on Netflix right now, right? Like, if you want to watch all 86 episodes, like, do it. Keep in mind, again, I may totally be wearing nostalgia goggles when I look at this show, but I'm okay with that.
Right. We're all okay with that. That's fine.
Nostalgia.
All right, Aiyanna.
All right. Well, assuming that everyone else was coming with Cowboy Bebop and Trigun and Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist, I went ahead and went with Soul Eater, which is also an amazing shonen anime show. Now, its lead is actually a female maka, and so that's kind of like not the usual, because it's usually like male leads and kids, but it does follow these students at the Death Weapon Meister Academy. So you can either be a Meister or a weapon. The Meister yields the weapons, and they're humans, but the weapon can transform themselves into a weapon to be wielded. And it's awesome, and they go hunt these evil Kishin souls, and they'll kill these Kishins and then eat the souls. And you have to eat 99 souls and then a soul of a witch, and then you can actually be wielded as Death, Lord Death's scythe. And Lord Death is super annoying in my book. Oh my gosh. Like, they go through this whole thing where they talk about how he used to be this terrible guy and now he wears like a mask and talks in this funny voice and like does a death chop and all this stuff to, like, you know, because now he's running a death academy and he has to be approachable to kids. But oh my God.
That's amazing.
He's so
It's like
annoying.
Darth Vader
so
becomes
annoying.
Lord Helmet.
Basically, yes. But with a funny voice over top of that. Not the most annoying character, though. The most annoying character is freaking Excalibur. I can't stand this guy.
Oh my God.
He has this weird long nose. Is he human? I don't actually know what he is. He wears this weird like clown bibby collar thing, and then has like this weird mask, or maybe it's his face. We don't know. It's like a weird like old style, like, I don't know, TV masks or whatever. They like
it's
wore
like a
medical
The
masks.
medic
Yeah.
masks in Italy, like the ones that have the long noses.
Scaramouche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible
those.
guy. And then
Yes.
like this stupid long hat, and he's like really tiny, and then he transforms into a sword, Excalibur, obviously, and he's like the best weapon ever. Like, he's super powerful and will make you be able to do all these things, but he's so effing annoying that none of the Meisters can like stand to be with him for long periods
Well,
of
it's
time.
the common anime trope.
Yeah,
the most powerful
exactly.
weapon's always the biggest dick.
Always so annoying. And he's not even mean. except that he calls him a fool. Fool. But it's amazing. And so it follows these teams of kids that are at like the top 10% of their class, because there's this whole Death Meister Academy that we're at. And so there's like maybe about like 8 main people that we follow their story. And it's nice because they kind of, each weapon and wielder team, they're sort of opposite genders. So there's Maka and Soul Eater are the main ones that we follow. And then there's Death the Kid, which is Lord Death's son. And he actually has 2 weapons, Patty and Liz and Patty, and their guns that he like holds by the pinky and like shoots them like this.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're sisters. Me and my sister have talked about cosplaying them for a while. That may need to come back. But they're sisters, and Kid Death is like super like OCD. So he likes everything to be even, and he'll stop mid-battle to be like, the point on that is off, and just stop. So this is one of those shows that really like has these moments of like violence and super darkness and super poignant moments, and then all of a sudden they just like break it with comedy and brevity, like all of a sudden. So it's a really fun thing to watch because of the pace of it. Is really, it keeps you on your toes and stuff. Also has a great theme song that's been stuck in my head all morning because I watched one episode to kind of get in the mood, and now like it's stuck in my head. There's some cool like character names in it that you'll recognize, like there's a Dr. Stein, there's a Blair the Witch.
Right. Stein is amazing.
Right in the first episode, there's Jack the Ripper is a Kishin soul.
Right.
So you get all these like little names. Medusa is one. Little names that you're like, oh, hey, I know that name. That's from a thing.
Right.
So it's just a really enjoyable watch. And you can read the manga, however you like to say it. You can go read it. It's very similar. Some of the weapons are switched what they actually are. But for the most part, it's relatively similar. There's very minor character changes in it, but it's
And the art design is like
It's
if you
really
cross Tim Burton with Curse of Monkey Island.
yes, that is
it's good. But it's good.
It's
We promise.
Oh no, I meant that in
in a good
awesome
way.
awesome way. Yes.
To be clear, that's a good thing. So it's a good read. It's a good watch. Go check it out because you'll love it.
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
it's on
spin-off.
Netflix, isn't it?
It's on
It's on
Netflix,
Netflix,
but
yeah,
it's
so
one
check it
of
out.
the shows that's going to be taken off like November 15th.
Yeah.
There's a few of those animes that are taken off.
Yeah.
So go watch it now. It's subbed.
Marathon.
Otherwise,
Marathon.
Funimation on YouTube has it. I think the first episode is dubbed, but the rest of it is subbed.
Yeah.
So it should still be on their YouTube. I don't know if they're taking
Yeah.
it down too. I don't know about
We'll
the
see.
rights. But there's a
Yeah.
spin-off show I haven't seen. If you've seen Soul Eater or not, come tell me about it.
I
I've
would
heard
say not. I would say not.
But let me know what
Yeah.
you think in
Yeah.
the comments below.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I'm going to just say super fast. My favorite anime is Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm a huge fan of mechas, and it basically created the real robot genre. Trevor's would not exist without Gundam.
She's not wrong.
It's a great war story, space opera type thing again, where it's the Earth Federal Forces fighting the Principality of Xi'an, who are space people who live in colonies who have revolted against the rule of the Earth Federation. It's a great story. Check it out. I love it. I love to build the little models as well.
Nice.
Thanks for coming out and being on the show with us today, guys. Where can
totally.
we find you on social media, Trevor?
Trevor A. Mueller is my Twitter, my Facebook, my YouTube, all of it. TrevorAMueller.com. Find me there.
Aiyanna?
Twitter, here, Facebook, the usual. You know where to get me.
Rob?
Facebook, Robert Walker. My profile has me in a fedora, and I'm going like, so go.
Malcolm?
Twitter @Malcolm the Ray.
Awesome. All right, and you can find me on Twitter @Heather Roos or Instagram @HRoos. So for all these guys here, we will see you on the next page.
Bye.